let's get started on the cookies. And these are called Cowboy cookies. And I had gifted these to some friends already earlier, and one of my work friends, we met for lunch yesterday, and she called me and said that she needed the recipe to the Cowboy cookies. So I sent it to her, and I thought, well, I'm making another batch, so might as well video it and see if you all would like to have it too. But I got this recipe years ago when I worked for Eastman in the credit department. And one of the men that I worked with brought it in one day when we were having food brought in, and it has become my favorite cookie. And I make it every year at Christmas time. And so we love it, and I tweak to satisfy me the recipe. I put some coconut in it. It doesn't call for coconut, but I like coconut in it. So what I have in this bowl is 2 sticks of butter, and I melted it. And I'm going to add in 2 eggs. It's cooled down, so the butter's not hot. I'm going to add in 2 eggs. Give me a good sturdy spoon to stir this up with. That's a good one. And break up the egg yolks. I'll get you down. Breaking up the egg yolks with the spoon and just mix it in with that butter. And now I want 1 cup of brown sugar. This is a 1/4 cup measure. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want 3/4 cup of white sugar. 1, 2, 3. Now stir this up. So you've got a cup of butter, there's 2 sticks of butter, a cup of brown sugar, 3/4 cup of white sugar, and 2 eggs. And you just want to mix this together until it's smooth. Okay, the man that gave me this recipe, his name is Chester, and he's gone on to be with the Lord. He was such a fun guy. Now to this we're going to add 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I put it all in my sifter, and I have sifted it into this bowl, and we're going to add that to this mixture. You need a good sturdy, stiff spoon because it turns into a really stiff batter. Okay, now we're going to add our vanilla, and we need a teaspoon of vanilla. And give that a stir. And now we're going to add our fillers. Put this back up. So, it calls for 2 cups of oatmeal, but like I told you, I like to add coconut too, so I'm just going to do 1 cup of oatmeal. 1, 2, 3, 4. After I get it all mixed up, if I think I need some more oatmeal, I'll add it then. And then I'm going to add a cup of coconut. 1. I've got this 4/4 cup measurement out, and I'm just going to keep using it. 1. If there's any clumps in the coconut, just kind of break them up a little bit. 2. 3. Little clump there. A little bit more. 4. There went a clump. And there went a clump. Now, I'm going to stir this up. I fold it. I would have to do that when I'm on camera. Let me clean that up. Okay, got that cleaned up, so I'll start to stir again, being a little more careful. But it is a very thick batter, and I'm just trying to get the coconut and oatmeal worked into it. It doesn't take a whole lot. More arm muscle to do it. There's a piece of oatmeal fill out. Okay, we got that. We need a cup of chocolate chips. You can use semi-sweet or milk chocolate. I've got both. I'm going to finish off this bag of semi-sweet chunks. 1. Okay, that's about a 1/2 cup of that. And then I've got this milk chocolate chips. And I'll do another 1/2 cup to make a total of 1 cup. And I like the raisins, so it calls for a cup of raisins. I'm just going to use the 2 of these little boxes here. Some of the oatmeal I spilled went into the open box of raisins. So it's coming back out with it. And the only other thing that goes in is a 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. And I wasn't smart enough to get those out and ready to put in, so I will pause the camera and get those in. So let me get these chocolate chips and raisins mixed in here. Okay, I've been working on the pecans, and I got pecan halves, and I think chopping it makes them too fine for the cookies. I like a little crunch of the nut when I eat my cookie. So I just take the pecan halves and just crunch them with my fingers. And I've already got 3/4 of a cup in there. And then this will make the full cup. Okay, that makes a cup. I'm making a mess in the kitchen, honey. Got some cleanup to do. could you set the pecans back over there for me and put the lid on it? And I'm just going to fold these pecans in here the best I can. Just to get them evenly distributed throughout the dough. And I think that's pretty much got it. Okay. Now I'm going to get my cookie sheet out. 2 big cookie sheets. And spray it with some cooking spray. And I'm going to get my cookie scooper and a cup of water to dip the scooper in to get the dough off easy. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and it should be preheated by the time I get the cookies out on the pan. Okay, need the spray. I'm gonna spray these. No, I don't use parchment paper for these cookies, because I like the bottoms to be nice and brown, don't you, honey?
Sounds good.
And they don't get a good browning on the bottom when you use parchment paper. So I got a small cookie scoop here.
Ice cream?
It can be an ice cream scoop. This is smaller. It's more for cookies. And you don't mash them down. You just put a scoop in there. Three to a row on this size pan. This is a large cookie sheet. Give them room to spread out as they bake. And this makes around 38 to 40 cookies, depending on how big your cookie scoop is. You know, Chester gave me this recipe back in the 70s. And we had a good work group in the credit department. I'm trying to remember the names. When I first went in, I won't give the last names. But the manager was Bill. There were 2 supervisors, Wynn and Cam. And they were such good men. And then the rest of us worker bees. There was Laura and Sandy and Sandra, Brenda and Creta and Karen and myself. I don't think I can get another 3, 6, 9, 12 to a sheet. I'm going to spread these out a little bit more so they won't touch when they do bake. Okay, so that's the first pan. And anyway, back to the credit department. I was just a young person. I went to work there when I was 18 years old. And my dad would not let me wear any makeup. So these girls that I worked with wanted to put makeup on me. So when I go to work in the mornings, they put the makeup on me and mascara, and then I would wash my face before I go home. And one time I forgot to wash my face, and Dad said, "What is that on your face?" So ever since then, the cat was out of the bag, so I started wearing makeup. And I had real thick eyebrows at that time. So they got me down one day on our lunch hour and plucked my eyebrows out. gave them more definition. And then I went to one of the girls' house on a Saturday morning because my hair was blonde, but it was kind of a mousy blonde. And they talked me into letting them put highlights in my hair. So went to one of their houses on Saturday morning and they worked on my hair, gave me highlights, and I liked it. So those were good times, and we would have the best times with getting together outside the office. The supervisors, whose name was Cam, he had a cabin on the lake, so he would have us over there like at Christmas and stuff and have a Christmas party. We'd always bring food, potluck, and sing songs, and when somebody was having a special occasion, we'd write a song about them. And it would just be real funny. And we just had good times. Those were good times together. Well, I heard the oven, it's preheated, so I'm going to put the first pan in. And I'm setting the timer for 12 minutes. You don't want to overbake the cookies. So depending on your oven, it will take 12 to 15 minutes. On mine, it takes about 12. And it will just start looking a little bit brown around the edges. And you'll think it might not be done, but go ahead and take them out and let them sit and cool a minute. And they are chewy. They're not crunchy. If you bake them too long, they're hard and crunchy. So 12 minutes works on my oven. So I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Okay, the first batch is done. And you can see how they are kind of brown around the edges. So I'm going to let these cool a minute before I put them on a cooling rack. And I'll put the second pan in. Minutes. Now while those are cooling, I'll be talking about gift giving again in the food line. So I showed you ideas about the Christmas stovetop potpourri mix that you can do, and the Chex mix or the snack mix, and I'll put the recipe to that in the description, along with the potpourri. I'll put that in there too. And we talked about the cookies. We talked about candies that you can make. A lot of people like fudge this time of year. So I'm just trying not to make a whole lot. I did that one year and gained quite a bit of weight. So what I'm making this year is Daddy's maple creams and that old-fashioned nugget candy. And that's the only two candies I'm making, and I'm giving most of that away as gifts. And another thing you can do is that pimento cheese spread that I make. And it's really good, and you can put it in a little glass jar and with a box of Ritz crackers and put it in a basket and tie it up. Maybe add some other fruit and stuff in there with it. But that's a really good homemade food idea that you can do. Now, I've been getting some gifts too, and I want to say thank you to a viewer whose name is Ron, and he's from West Virginia. And I was so surprised and excited when I got in the mail a Rada paring knife. And I love it. It's the first paring knife, Rada paring knife that I've had. And the only other one that I got, this is what Ron sent me, a Rada paring knife. And it is sharp and it does the job so good. But I did have this one that I ordered from a friend who was selling it for her kids' school. And it's like a chopper, hand wash, I'll call it. It doesn't say what kind it is, but it's a chopper. And I have loved that knife. I've had it for about 3 years, but it's the only Rada knife that I had. So thank you, Ron. I love this, and it was such a nice surprise. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Other gifts that I've gotten is from my work friends. We had lunch yesterday, and one of them gave me a jar of this delicious strawberry jam that she gets at the Amish store. Another one made this beautiful loaf of orange coconut cake. It's got this sweet glaze on top of it. Joe and I had a piece of it last night, and it was so good. And we've been eating on some others. Some friends made these crackers, and they're hot and spicy. And Joe's been eating those. They're almost gone. They will give me heartburn, so I can't eat those. And she made a miniature loaf of this cranberry lemon cake, I think it is. I've eaten some of that. It's really good, and I think it was a family recipe. And she also made an apple cake and gave several slices of that, and we've been eating on that. And I think that's about it. Am I forgetting something? I may be forgetting something, but anyway. Oh, I'll show you this. A lady in our prayer group made each one of us this, I don't know what you would call it, but she's used different, this is a clear glass plate and a flower vase here she's glued on, another little saucer clear glass plate, and a glass that she turned upside down, and then a little dish here on top. So it's made a little tower, and it's so neat. So I think I'll just put some Christmas goodies, candies and stuff on it, some nuts in here on top, and set it on the table for Christmas Day. And I think that's, one of them gave us, I'll walk you over here to see this Merry Christmas sign. A friend of the prayer group gave me that Merry Christmas sign. And I think that's all my show and tell for this video. But I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas and enjoy your family. And Christmas is not about the gifts. It's just about enjoying your family, having a good meal together, and laughing. And my last video put some memories of Christmas past that we used to have all of the family here, and the kids were little, and we played games and do karaoke. We did karaoke 1 or 2 years when the kids were little. That was a lot of fun. And we do white elephant gifts, and that was funny. Some of the gifts that people would get. But we just enjoyed ourselves together, and I hope you all do that too. And as we get older, life changes, and now all of that family has grown up. They got families of their own. They've got in-laws in different states, and they're traveling here and there, and it's just hard to get everybody together now. But you all have a blessed Christmas, and we've got to try one of these cookies before we close this video out. Another one of my prayer group ladies gave me this little Christmas ornament, and it's really cute. Can you read what it says? It says, "Our hope has come. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him." Romans 15:13. Let's get this next batch out. And put the next tray in. So there's 12, 24, 36, and we've got a little bit extra dough. So we'll get almost 40 cookies out of this batch. So All right, the cookies are looking good and they're smelling good, and I've got 4 more to put in the oven when the next tray comes out, so that will make a total of 40 cookies. And to the family of 6, that won't last any time.